Hello, everybody. I'm still here with my scratchy throat from this morning. I've drank tea. I've done everything. Anyhow, here we are for part 2 of our autumn journals. And I hope everybody's ready to play a little bit today. Maybe that's a little better so we're not getting quite as many shadows. I have my letters that I painted that are going to have to go on kind of up and down or jibber jabber. But before we put those on, we've got to decorate our front and we got to decorate our little components. So the little components need to be first. I'm going to set that aside and we're just going to play with the pumpkins and my little branches. I'm not going to sand them or anything. I want them to look rustic. They're a little wonky, and we'll do the covers after we get some. We're going to do a base coat on these first, and then we'll do a base coat of everything's going to be black to start with. We're going to cover the whole things in black. So both frames will be covered in black, but I'm going to do the components first. Hi, Mina. So I'm going to paint every bit of only the front side. I'm not worried about the back because that'll be glued onto the cover in some way. So I've got those. So we need to get some black on here. I'm hoping this black is usable. All of my paint is getting old and it's got, paint boogers. Use it or lose it, right? I'm going to put out a good bit because we have a lot to cover. Yeah, and this is really thick. I'll have to use some water. And I'm going to use my biggest paintbrush, which is this one. Size 7 round, I guess. I'm just going to pat that in the black paint here, kind of thin it out. And I'm just going to paint the whole front of it, get it down in the grooves. I was going to spray paint this, but I didn't want to go out to the garage to get the spray paint. Just being lazy. I might have to do the underside of this a little bit because you don't know what's going to be exposed on your journal. And it might take 2 coats of this old paint to get the cover on. Oops. If you get paint on the bottom, it's not the end of the world. This part, you just want to get black all over the place. Okay. You can see that's got goobers in it. This is so much easier with spray paint because it just goes down in the grooves. That's a paint booger right there. So I didn't know if anybody had any other ideas for their covers. Did you come up with your own embellishments? Things in your stash? Maybe you're going to cover it with a napkin or whatever. I'm going to do mine with different paints. Trying to get it down in that little crevice there. I added a little water because this paint is really thick. If you didn't want to use black, you could have used a dark brown. I'm just using black because it's what I had handy. I'm going to take my sweater off because I'm sweating. Hi, Heather. Hi, Mina. Hi, Chris. Hi, Janet. Hello. It says I only have 2 people watching, but it's obvious there's more than 2 of you here. Mix some more water in. Once the black paint dries, I'll dry brush on top with some browns and make it look like a real log. We made these, and I put a link to both of the previous videos, the part 1 and then the clay embellishments video. Links are in the description box below the video. And this is a project we're doing to go with the spring and summer journals that we've already done. And so we'll need to do a winter journal, and we'll have a set of 4 journals over several years, but it gives you ideas of ways to make journals on your own sometime, maybe. Excuse my son if you could hear that. He's getting up and getting around. He has to be to work at 2 o'clock, so. What this does is it puts the shadows in place, and then you just dry brush the color on top, and you get a more realistic look to the logs. Oh, Greg must be going to get something. His little car just started up. He gets picked on for being a big guy in that little Scion, but then he just laughs at him because he gets like 50 miles to the gallon. So who's the dummy? I'll look at chat when I finish this branch here. If you got any questions. These dried pretty fast. They were pretty much dried out and ready to go the next day, but I just left them to dry until today. All right. I'm going to have to tilt this screen back so I can read you. You haven't started yet, but you found a lovely fall photo and am torn between using or going to use green fabric. Well, you could cut a window and still use your green fabric on the cover. Just cut a window and cover it that way. Oh, we got to do the pumpkins. These turned out pretty good for little, clay adornments. And this was air dry clay. It's not Fimo or Sculpey. It's just air dry clay. I could put this on the wax paper so they don't stick to the paper. That might be a good idea. Let me just move these over. I'll just move the whole thing in front of you guys. And you can use just sticks from your yard if you want to. Here, let's move these over my quirky faces. I sometimes doodle while I'm just sitting here. Thanks, Janet. I tried to post that I was going live, but I know Ann's doing a test, I guess, with Raul because they're going to be live together tomorrow. So she's doing a test. I saw that when I was getting ready to sign on. So I hope she's able to do that. That could be interesting to sit and do. I know she's got her bridge at 1:30. Callie, don't worry with the neighbor cats. They can't get in. All you can do is sit at the front door and growl at them. She says, so I'm going to. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Because I'm Callie and I'm in charge. Oh, I got growling, all kinds of growling going on. All right, so that's my little embellishments. We'll let them dry. And I'm going to do the same thing with my covers, but only the front side of them. I'm not going to paint the back. This brush is going to take forever. Let's try this instead. If paint gets on the back, don't worry about it. We're going to collage the backs of our covers. We'll see how far we get today, since I'm adding the dry brushing onto the embellishments we made as part of today. We might not do the inside cover until next week. That way the glue can dry on our embellishments and everything. But I'll tell you, my plan for the inside covers would be, if you have any punches or metal dies that you can cut leaves with, just cut a bunch from your own painty paper or decorative fall papers. And I'm just going to collage some leaves like that onto the back. And I was thinking of adding a pocket at the front and the back that you could stick like ticket stubs if you go to a haunted house or a pumpkin patch or, you know, anything like that for autumn. Or if you take a trip somewhere and you want to keep receipts from where you had lunch. That's why I was thinking of sticking one of those envelopes. I should include the envelopes I made in my links in my description as well. All right. You can still see this one. Looking to see. Hi, Chris. Hi, Pam. I see Pammy's been making more overalls. I'm going to get some more of my gloppy black paint. It looks like we're doing Halloween because it's so dark, but we're not. Hi, Gail. Okay. Thank you. Gail was off on her walk with Elvin this morning. Scott always goes, how does the computer get covered with so much paint? I was like, I don't know. All right. Now I've got kind of a stiff brush, and I need to dry it as dry as I can. Let me grab, well, I've got, no, that's my pressing rag. Hang on. I want to grab some paper towels. All right. Might clean my hands off of the black after this morning. And I did spray my piece I did this morning with the UV resistant spray. I had that, so that's what I used. I don't like these baby wipes because too many come out at once. I know I didn't pay that much for them, but for crying out loud. Oh, okay. Gail's waiting on the call to go pick up her groceries. The last couple orders that I did, the quality was a little bad. Young people don't look for rotten spots and that kind of stuff, I find. All right, so now I'm going to do some dry brushing.
I'm going to agree with you because last time I ordered it, it was kind of rough for me too.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to do the pumpkins first. I'm going to dry the brush out. Let's see. Move this up here. Thank you, Greg.
No problem.
He's going in the other room to blow things up for an hour and a half before he goes to work. All right. This is pure orange, and I have pumpkin orange, and I'm just going to put a little bit out of each one here. There's that. The pumpkin orange hasn't been opened yet. Diane at Didey Dye's Crafty Corner, she showed the coolest tool that she got free with an order from scrapbook.com. It's this little thing about maybe that long, and it's on the head of it. It's got like a flat paddle, and it's got like little prongs stick up, and you can use it to start your tape. Yep, that was Greg. Scott's at work. And then maybe we'll put just a tiny bit of the toasted terracotta out so we have some different shades. And yeah, because Greg switched. He's on nights now. All right. I've dried the paintbrush. Hopefully these pumpkins. And you put a little paint on, and then you come over here and you wipe almost all of it off. And then you just take and you just choop, choop, choop. And it doesn't look like it's doing much, but you build up layers. Maybe we'll do some of this lighter color. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry. I'm just going back and forth. So there's just a tiny bit of paint on it. Yeah. And then just go gently. Try not to go down into the crevice of it. And we want just the pumpkin. We don't care about the stem right now. Pretend you're brushing in the air and then it just reaches down and kisses the pumpkin a little. That's what you're aiming for. Okay, we'll just set that aside to dry. I think you guys can see it. There we go. Let's do another pumpkin. I'm going to do the bottom. Let me pick up some of this. Come on up. You want to load it up and really cover it, but then you lose all the shadow that you put down. Pumpkins come in a world of shades anymore. Whoops. Okay, there's that little pumpkin. They do. They do. My fellas sound a lot alike. Greg's voice is much louder than Scott's, though. His dad is very soft spoken. That's why his mother's always saying, "Speak up." And she started this thing where she thinks if we're just talking to each other, she thinks we're whispering and talking about her. And it's like, no, we're just talking normal voice. I could have done a black crow out of the getting too much paint. Whoops. And I didn't pull green out, so I'll need some green for the stem. Green or a little, maybe a light tan with a little green mixed in. All right, there's my little pumpkins. We can let them dry. And let's rinse our brush a little bit. I'm going to bring this down and turn it a little and do my branches. Hi, Sherry. You like those pumpkins? Let me grab a little bit of green. Maybe someday I'll have a big enough place to spread the paint out and everything. This is kind of it says classic green, but if I mix a tiny bit of black with it, it'll darken it down a little bit more. If I can get any out of the blooming. Okay. Let's see. That's it. Tiny bit of black. There we go. We'll just hit that a little bit. I see some spots that I might have to put a little bit more orange on. I'm just trying to add a little bit of green to this. But the orange is still wet, so I don't want to lift it up. Good enough. You like how those pumpkins look? Hi, Janet Burgess. I might actually move the pumpkins out of the way to let them dry up here, because I like them just the way they are. That one's got just a tiny little bit. I'm going to get a little paintbrush. Pick up just a little bit of this. Cole, why are you fussing? All right, I'm going to shove you out of the way now before I get you too much. Too much. I'm just adding just a little bit of highlights on the rounded parts. At the top. Nothing magical. All right, now we want that same dry brush. And I'm going to put just a little bit of the darker brown on top of the black. Hi, Brenda. I think I said hi. I might be getting this morning and right now mixed up, but now I'm just going to try to hold these still and add just a little bit of this color on. So it's not going down into the grooves very much. I might have to pull out the heat gun a little bit. A little bit of white showing down in there. So I'll just cover it up with some dark brown. Please don't jump up. I've got wet paints everywhere. Thank you. Cole, why are you fussing? Callie, you cannot be up here. No, you can't go this way. Go that way. There's a white spot underneath here. I need to fill it in with the brown. And there's a little white in the end. I probably pull it off with my finger every time. Some of that we can bury under other things. So these are my twigs that if I had a lot of woodlands, I might just go out and, pick up twigs. Let's do some lighter shades on here now. Brenda says she's been lurking and working, maybe. Boy, I got the orange way up in that brush, and I didn't mean to. Hi, Cole. They don't get to see you much, grouchy boy. And I'm barely touching the brush to the thing. I'm just kind of pretending I'm going in the air, and if it hits the limb, it hits the limb. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What, honey? What? He's the talker of the house. What's the matter? Is Greg playing? Yeah. Is he not paying attention to you? You're what's most important, right? Yeah. Okay. Now you're a good boy. He's not going to answer that because he knows he's not. Oh. Yeah. You have to go the other way. You have to go the other way. All right. And I'm going to do one more shade lighter and get my tree limbs looking like tree limbs. And then we'll set all of this aside. And I'm going to dry on the frame pieces. It looks like this guy's peeking out the window. It's like, what are you doing, lady? Those look the same color, don't they? I don't know. Let's see. Thought that was a little bit lighter. Maybe not. I think I just wasted some paint. We'll use it. I think this is the one I wanted to grab because, yeah, that's what I did. I put out. Oh boy. That had like a whole great big seal of paint over the top. Get it off one finger and it's sticking to the other. All right. Let's see if I can get some to come out now. There we go. What I wanted to do was kind of mix these two together. And come up with a little bit lighter. There we go. That's more like it. No, there's a little log there. I'm going to set that aside. He's going to go tell Greg that the neighbor cats were on the porch, looking in the window at us. All right, we'll set that one aside. These don't have to look exactly like logs. I'm going for kind of a representation. Hopefully it looks close enough. There's that one. There we go. We'll just let those dry and we'll just use them as they are. So let me pull the frames back over here. Or the not frames, but you know, the covers. Oh, meow. All right, so that one I've got in the right direction. And this one I've got upside down. Right? Yep. This is the back. That way the holes line up. So I'm glad I did that. We need to dry this. I got to sit down. My back is starting to scream. And I can look at chat while I'm drying. Hi, Anne. I saw you were doing a test. I hope it worked out. I'll be at the groomer with Bernadette still at noon tomorrow, but maybe I can watch on my phone if I can find somebody with free Wi-Fi. Of course, I got Candy as my groomer. She's fast. She does a good job and she's fast. So I might not be out there the full 3 or 4 hours, but then again, I might be. It's been a while since Bernadette's been, so she's pretty shaggy baggy. I don't care if the paint bubbles a little bit. That just adds more texture. All right, I'm just going to use a combination of the browns on here. I'm just going to use up what I have. I think I'd like a bigger brush or I'm going to be here all day. Of course, I do have, what is that one? No, this is the one I was thinking about. Trying to clean my brush out a little bit here. This is the one that had the black in it, and I'm done with black if I can get it to rinse out. Another reason I like to spray paint better, because then you don't have a bunch of black laying around to darken everything else. All right, I got a little water on my brush. And I'm just going to do the same thing. We're just going to make this look like a tree eventually. Get a little bit of water. Nope. It doesn't matter if they're mixed or not. And I'm not trying to get, all down in all the crevices and stuff. I just want the high spots. I'll put more paint out. This will look like a beat up old leather or tree bark journal. Yeah. All right, give me some of that dark brown. This is the nutmeg brown. Where's the really dark burnt umber? Whoa. Yep, I got enough now. That's what I figured you were doing. And are you guys using StreamYard or are you going to try to use the YouTube share? And I got to find out what Shannon's planning for us to use on Friday. And she wants me to be a guest on her channel. So I need to find out what her plan is, because I've used StreamYard, but I haven't used the one that Amazon has come out with. You're using StreamYard. Okay. I hope it worked and that it'll all go smoothly for you tomorrow. Kind of looking forward to getting out of the house tomorrow for a little while. I'm sure I'll be over it by the time I'm done with everything with the dog. And I'll be so glad to get back home. Oh, goodness. I guess the only way to get better at being social is to do it, but it's so exhausting. I'm mixing the two colors together a little bit here and there. And this is why I said try to leave as many crinkles as you can when you do your cover, because if you come back and you just lightly go over, then it only hits the top spots and it looks cool. Now, do you guys want to do like we did with the other journals and have the pages all be pieces of recycled card, or would you like to do signatures? Because I was thinking it might be fun to do this one as kind of a journal that we could write in and maybe have signatures in it. Still working out in my head how we do that. All right. I don't think I can pick up any of that green. I think it's gone. But you could mix a little mossy looking green in if you wanted to. Make your covers the way you want to make them. I know I shouldn't waste this paint, but I'm going to just pitch it. All right. Now you can use your finger to apply paint to just some of the areas. Like if you wanted to add some kind of metallic paint, you could. If you wanted this to look more metal, you could add metallic paint with your finger. What I'm going to use is the Rub and Buff. I'm going to dry this good first. I'll put some of my paints up, get them out of our way real quick. I was kind of leaving the idea of whether we wanted to do Oh, Anne's got her a new brother sewing machine. Oh, and Gail had to go get her groceries. You had a lot of problems on Sunday. Oh, dear. Well, that stinks. I can't stay on a real long time, but I can stay on a couple hours today, if we need me to. Have to be off by 3 because I have to cook dinner. Scott goes and teaches after work today. Rub and Buff now. I should have dug that out before. You can dribble inks on here if you want to. It's your journal. Use what you have to decorate with. I know I just saw those things. If I can't find them, I bet they're on this other cart. I need to clean my carts off. I've been just shoving things on them, and that's never a good idea if you want them to stay kind of tidy. No, it's on this one. Oh, Becky. What did you do with them? They're in baggies. It's texture paste stuff. stinks. That's that puzzle we were going to use when we couldn't get out the house. And we never did it. Oh, there they are. They were under some coffee filters. That one's, oh no, Tippy, your butt's going to be all brown. Honey. Let your cat sit on your project and you'll have new texture. This is a Grecian gold. This is patina. We could try some of this. Now these are really old too. So I don't know. Oh, it's hard in the tube. This is another reason to try to pull them out and use them. That is hard as a rock. Okay, that one's going in the trash. See if any of them can be gotten out. Oh, that one's looking promising. This one is European gold. The thing with this stuff is it stinks. And I probably should have put some kind of guard on my hands. I've got some of that cream that's supposed to make it easier to clean up. And like I said, some of that stuff I used is a little sharp, so I might cut my finger at this the rate I'm going. In the first video, for anybody that's new, we made these covers using recycled piece of cardstock or chipboard. Mine came off from between the Fancy Feast canned cat food. Now with the rub and buff, you have to let it set and dry. And then you're supposed to come back with a rag and actually buff it. That's why it's called rub and buff. And that's what makes the real shine come out. And I just love the finish I get with it. Scott had bought me this set of rub and buff off Amazon that has all the colors. And I can't use them up fast enough that they, don't dry out. The neighbor's cats are crying at the door. Guaranteed they didn't get any food or water from next door. And definitely no attention. One of the kittens they turned out was a little female, and it looks like she's nursing kittens somewhere. I'm going to have to call animal control because we can't have this many cats just running around loose, not fixed. And we definitely can't afford to, do it. All right. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to dry it a little bit, and then I'll get a rag. I've got my t-shirt here somewhere. I've got a piece of a t-shirt that I use to do that. If I can put this stuff back on here. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Here's a rag. A buffing cloth of sorts. Yeah, it was a little damp. He's got a little bit of brown paint on his rear end. He always waits till my back is turned. Do not jump up here again. Right now. And you can go around to get to the kitchen. You don't have to have the door open. Oh, we're doing pretty good on time. Hi, Sharon Lombard. have my picture and the piece of plastic for the window and everything is ready to go here. Oh, I know what I can do. For a place for us to journal, we'll just create a gatefold card and install a little journal inside it. I'll work out all the measurements over the next few days. And then that's what we'll do next Wednesday is we'll put a little notebook in the inside cover. All right, we're gonna call it good enough. And then this is just one of Scott's old t-shirts. And if you just buff it, the paper's ripping a little bit. Need to not be so aggressive. It's not going on the floor. It's going in the trash can. All right. And I'll buff up the back a little bit. I'm not worried about where my paper's ripping. I'm going to come back in with some gold paint and add some real gold paint just on the spots where the paper ripped. I'll get some of that 24 karat gold paint and it'll add some more interest to my covers. Sorry I'm jiggling you guys, but that's the buffing process at work. All right. All right, let me get the 24 karat gold paint. I just love this Deco Art Extreme Sheen gold paint. And I'm going to get my small paintbrush. And I'm just going to touch up where the paper is exposed. Just to give me a little bit of extra character to it. Let's see here. Inside back cover goes this way. There, okay. I think I'll edge the edges too, but you can see where my I rubbed it off. I'm just going to dab a little bit of gold here and there. And I'm dabbing it on, so I'm picking up a good bit of paint on the tip of my paintbrush. Where else? Right here. A little bit there. I might have to look at this at different angles to see all the spots where the gold needs to go to cover up the white paper. So I'll cover up what I can see at this angle and then I'll turn it around. What exposed paper? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let me turn the whole thing. See if there's anything exposed on here. Nothing that I can see. Everything's better with gold on it. That covers up the paper and it makes it look more interesting. You might want to just hit some of the places that was a little bit higher on the thing. Tippy, stop it! Stop it! I know you know how to flip paper. Go around, buddy. Because as soon as I put you in the kitchen, you're going to want back in here. You are a pain in the tutu. Cats. Gotta love them or you'd kill them. There's a little bit where some paper came off right there. Yoda, go home and ask your owners to feed you. Well, I hope there's others joining in. I would love to see pictures in my group or Ann's group or Janet's group. I'd love to see pictures of whatever you're doing. If you're playing along with it, or if you're just doing some component, if you've just made some embellishments, that would be great. I'm just going over some of the high spots because I think it looks cool. There's some exposed paper. Tissue paper from the spot below. We'll just cover that up with some dibs and dabs. This has got a nice exposed ridge along there. We'll just bring it on out a little bit more. Now, if you have some kind of artificial leaves or something like that, you can use it to decorate your inside cover. Or like I said, if you've got some dies that you can cut leaves out of your painty paper, that's what I'm going to collage on the inside covers. There's a lot of paper exposed right there. I didn't even see. My fingers are sore from doing the pastels this morning, so that's why I'm using a paintbrush instead of my finger to put this on. I might pick up some food from La Cienega tomorrow. Wednesdays is our new night to have takeout. Of course, Scott might enjoy an evening out. They have a very small dining area and no outside seating. Well, Greg, it's time to get up. Oh, I like how that's turning out. Let's do some more on the cover of it. I like bringing out that almost spiderwebby effect of some of the below layer. And I know it looks like I'm just dib-dabbing because that's what I'm doing. I'm dib-dabbing. I meant to get my glue gun out too so we could glue the frame on and that kind of stuff. Before I add the real dimensional stuff, I want to put the window in and cut my picture to size. Of course, it doesn't really matter because we're going to collage over the back of it anyway. All right. I think the rest of this, I'm just going to use my finger on the edge. Is Kathy here? Hi, Kathy. Kathy's getting a new shed. All right, I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to put some gold on the inside before I put my picture in. I might have to use a paintbrush to get in the corners, but that's okay. Sorry, I'm probably not making it easy to see. I'm making it easy for me to see, but I'm just putting a little gold on the inside to cover the edge of the cardboard or card, whatever this is called, chipboard type stuff. Might smooth this off on the inside. All right, and maybe do some on the edge. Just dab it on, because if I try to rub it, I've got those sharp edges, and I don't want to cut my finger open on live. So I'll just dab it on there. I think we'll just focus on the outside of the cover for today. And next week we'll do the first page and we'll just collage on the inside, on the back side of this, and we'll install our picture and all of that. Although I kind of want to do, maybe we'll do the installation of the picture and the piece of clear stuff today. And then next week we'll do collage on the back side of our inside cover and the inside of the back cover as well. I need to see what Kathy's saying. Sorry, I'm lifting this up. The only way for me to do this is to stand up, I think, so you can see. I'm just tip-tapping, and if it goes over onto the front, that's even more goodness to look at. I can still see my holes for my binding threads, however we decide to bind it. All right, there's that. And I just want to do the edge on here. See, I just tap it on. We were driving out to Publix over the weekend, and we were talking about all of the weddings that my mother-in-law did wedding cakes for over all the decades she did weddings. And we wondered how many marriages have lasted that she did the cakes for. And we were remembering one time this girl insisted she wanted edible gold on her cake, and there was nowhere to get it locally. So a friend of hers was going to New York City, and they got the edible gold, and the marriage and they spent like $38,000 on the wedding, and the marriage lasted about 8 months. I'm like, if you would just invest that money into life instead of the actual wedding, you might be a little bit more successful than blowing all that. That's like a down payment on a house, $38,000. You put all that money into something that's over within just a few hours is crazy to me. Scott and I had bought my dress at one of the dress shops. It was like a cocktail dress. And had a hat I bought there too. Didn't buy a real wedding dress. It was my wedding dress, so I guess it was a real wedding dress. But all right, that's the covers. And I need to put a little bit more. Now, how do you pick it up after you set it down? Right there. It doesn't matter if it gets on the back a little bit. All right. Let's see if you do it with your finger. You might do a little bit with your finger. I just don't want to get too aggressive with it. I'm just barely touching the surface, and there's just a little bit of paint on my finger. And what that does is it lands. And now we've got 2 shades of gold on here, which I think looks really cool. And see, it hits just the high spots. And that's what makes it look cool. Trying to stay away from the edge so I don't mess up what I just put on there. And we'll put some on our cover. So I don't know if you guys have ever done anything like this to get a finish or not. I'm sure I'm not the first to do something like this, but I've done it on boxes and different things, and it just looks cool. And I think it looks autumnal, as they say. Maybe a little bit more up in here. All right. So let's dry it a little bit. I don't want the cat to get up here and stick his butt in gold paint again. Pick my trash can up where I slid it across the room at Tippy. Because he was tearing a pattern up is why I did that. Wasn't being mean. Red, yellow, and orange, then highlight with gold. That'll be pretty too. I forgot I had that pattern piece on that. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to work on my carts again soon because they're just out of hand. So we need to dry this. And while I'm drying it, see if my glue gun has a charge or if I need the battery out of the There we go. Scott got me this Ryobi glue gun. It's really good, and I can take it anywhere. The only thing is the glue gets like, I don't know, nuclear. Oh, Tippy something, Nina. Probably should have put a little gold on my pumpkins too, but we're not going to worry about it now. Oh, I want to do my window before I do the pumpkins. And I got my autumn that I've got to do. All right, so this is cut to the size I want. I'm just going to put double-sided tape on the back and stick this down on it. Let me get a wet one. Or with this pack, let me get 4 wet ones. All right, so any questions? Oh goodness, I can relate to the sinus headache. Oh, we've got another Kathy D. Kathy D is here. It's Kathy Day. Let me get my double-sided tape. If you don't want a collage on the backs of your covers, like my plan is to collage on the back, you can just cut some scrapbook paper to fit the back if you have it. Oh, I don't think. Okay, hang on. Okay. Let's let that go. I was noticing it wasn't starting to drip, and it was kind of good that it wasn't because it was on near my picture. Now I'm just going to put double-sided tape here. There. And before I stick this down, I want to cut my picture to the same size as this, or maybe a little bigger. And I can't remember what I cut this at. It's got a little gold paint on the plastic now. Surprise, surprise. 3 by 4. So if I do 3 1/4 by 4, it'll be a little bit larger, so it'll cover the edges of this. Oh gosh. All right, I'm going to pull the tape off. Maybe. Hopefully I'm not going to peel up some of my stuff. No, it looks okay. I was like, after I did all of that, then I'm going to do something bonehead and mess it all up. Greg, it's about time you got your stout self pulled together. Remember the fair is going on. He has to drive by the fairgrounds to go to work. Unless he gets on the interstate. This is under the tape that I already put down. Oh well, you're going to stick there. You're good. And then I'm just going to stick this down, I think. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's all going to get buried, but I want to make sure it's covering everything. So now I'll cut my picture, and I've decided I'm going to include the bird bath. Oh, yeah, the glue gun's working. It's probably getting my hang on. I got some paper towels there. Okay, I want to cut this to about, I'm just going to do 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to include the bird bath. These are blooming in my front yard, so I figured they'd be perfect for my front decoration. All right, so now this needs to be cut at 4 1/2 and 3 1/2. There you go. The rest of these I'll put in the trash. Okay. If you guys want to work ahead, I don't blame you. But I might do something that, you might find interesting. Let's see. Well, this is sticker paper, but I just want something to set that on for a minute. And I'm going to put more double-sided tape on here. Glad you don't have to go anywhere today. Well, that's good. And I'm going to overlap the plastic. So the tape is half on the plastic and half on the cardboard. And I might go ahead and pull that off. That makes more sense. Pull these off now. And then I'll put the other direction on and take that tape off. Back. And if there's some exposed, don't worry about it. Tape, because we're going to collage the back of this whole thing next week. And by then I'll have a plan for how to add a gatefolded like journal for the fall in the front of it. And then maybe in the back we'll put a pocket to hold things. Okay. I'm thinking that this might be the best way to do this. And I do have some exposed tape on the back, but again, I'm not going to worry about it right now because we'll cover that back up next week. All right, so I need to put my frame on here. Uh-oh. I know that it does not cover perfectly, but I'm not going to worry about it. We'll put that one up there, like so. And then this goes down here and it falls short a little bit. So I'll just move those in a little bit more. So that's going to be that. And then I'm thinking, put a pumpkin here and over here. And then this little guy could live like that. And we could put this fat pumpkin over here. I like those two there. And then just set this guy over here. All right, I'm just gonna glue these down. And we're gonna say good. I've got to put the title goes here is why I didn't bring the pumpkins to the bottom. Hi, Barbara Clark. All right. Hot glue gun that gets hotter than you could ever think. Well, okay. Try not to get it on that plastic because it will melt that plastic. Good enough. And these are air dry clay, so we'll see how long they hold up. My branches. Here we go. I'm going to put my pumpkins on here in just a minute. I will use a different glue to put the letters on, I think, because if I try to use this glue gun, I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. I can always come back and add, you know, a little gold or something. Oh, that's still hot there. Ow. Oh my gosh. You about ready to go?
Yep.
I just didn't realize if you knew what time it was. It's 1:23. Fine. Hi. I'm still mothering. I need to leave him alone. Tippy, it's hot, honey. Please. Go on. Get in your basket. He said, I wasn't done rubbing on that thing. Okay. You still need to add your picture under the acetate. Okay. I almost feel like this needs a little something else, but I'm going to go with what I have right now. And I said, I'm going to put this skinny one here. This is probably not a good idea for me to have it in my hand. There's that. And my other little pumpkin. Sweetie, this is hot. Don't get on it. Talking to the cat like he's a kid. And this little guy, I want to put like right there. I guess I should put like some clear nail polish on this or something. I don't know. Put that there. I just have a feeling that that little guy's going to pop off. But this is going to all have to set up before I can work on the back side anyway. I'll have to get a piece of foam or something to put this face down so I can do the collage on the back. If I'd been thinking about it, we would have done that, you know. That's okay. All right. Now these I found to get all of the autumn on, I'm going to have to do like ups and downs, like put A-U, T, U, M, and N to get it all on there. Maybe even come over a little bit farther. Yeah, like that. And I think I'll use just tacky glue. I really prefer the Scotch Quick Dry if I can get my baby bot to work. But I think this is going to be a cute journal. And we'll do our pages over the next couple weeks. I was figuring we'd wrap up this autumn journal before the end of the month. So I'll have to come up with some ideas for our pages inside. Have a good day, huh?
I'm going to. I'm about to let you know I'm taking the pasta.
Okay.
I can get the right ones though, right?
Yeah, the sauce is in the top container.
Okay.
And then the bottom container has just noodles and green beans. Like I said, there's no meat in there.
All right, I'm gonna get us some. This page, I'm gonna get us some cuts of meat, and then I was also gonna do some canned goods and vegetables.
Okay. We'll talk about it.
I'm thinking about getting us some peaches too.
Okay. Have a good one.
Hi, girl. Love you, mommy.
Love you, little feller. Bye, you goofball. He's going, bye. Like Forrest Gump. Nope, just Greg. Scott's still at his first job. I'm gonna have to get off and cook some dinner. I think we're gonna have mashed potatoes and salmon patties tonight. He's back. What'd you forget? I hope that dries.
For my headache.
Oh, you have a headache? You probably need an allergy tablet. I used to have some little leaves that were like table scatter stuff. Expect you for dinner, you'll bring dessert. You would be welcome, Mina. Let's see here. Now, a lot of people will just mix the salmon with just an egg and some breadcrumbs. But I put celery, onion, bell pepper, sometimes jalapeno gets chopped up into my salmon patties, and sometimes a little paprika or cayenne pepper ends up in there if we don't have jalapenos. I know nightshade plants cause inflammation, and Scott and I both should probably avoid that, especially Scott. He's having a horrible time with his legs, his knees especially. I think he needs full knee replacements. Told him, I said, you've reached the bionic man stage. Oh, you know what I did want to put on the front, and I don't think I have the numbers to do it. I was wanting to put 2023 on here somewhere too, because we've done spring and summer over, I think it was 2021 and 2022. So 2023, we're doing autumn. But table scatter, I wanted to add some leaves here and there too, but I don't have any. But my hole there's one there, and one there. I always want to make sure that my holes for the binding stay clear. So there you go. There's our cover. I'll turn this one around so you can see my cover. And this is just the back. So there we go. We've got our covers. And I'll work on a way for us to add a place to write information and a place to collect stuff into our journal. You know, like if we wanted to keep notes or ticket stubs or whatever. So I hope you guys like the cover. I'm hoping my glue will dry clear, and we'll find out. It's Scotch Quick Dry. It's supposed to dry clear. There we go. I think we're done. Yeah, I could do that on the inside cover, couldn't I? Put the date. That would be a good way to go. All right. So I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. And next week we'll do the next part of it. This is only going to have 3 or 4 pages in it because that's all we got left in the month. How many Wednesdays are left in October? We've got we got 2 weeks of Wednesdays. So I might have to jump on and do some freestanding or just impromptu lives to get our fall journal done in October. Because I would like to do the winter in November through December and January and make it a little bit longer one because it'll be the holidays and we might have things going on, but it'll still only be like a 6-page journal. Okay. I'll see you guys next week, if not before. Bye.